optimistic. There's hope
Yeah.
about this Carolina Panthers team.
Which we did not have before.
Which hasn't been there since, 2018? Before
Pre-Matt
Cam
Rule.
Newton got hurt? Before Cam Newton got hurt?
Yeah.
Pre-Cam Newton injury, so 5 years.
Oof, yeah.
Pre-Matt Rule. Yeah, at the end of the day, we're going to check tape. Before that.
All that, yes.
There hasn't been a lot of optimism.
No.
That's Victoria, producer of the Adam Gold Show. Dennis Cox sitting in for Adam Gold today. He's on his way to Charlotte for ACC Media Days already. But this Carolina Panthers team, as much optimism as hope there is about this team, and I think the hope isn't necessarily just about this season, it's about the future of the team. Because, okay, we have an NFL coach, that helps.
Legit
and
one.
Frank Reich, and the staff that he's assembled, it's like, okay.
It's solid.
It's solid. And everything is built around whomever they were bringing in at quarterback, whoever they were drafting. If this kid doesn't succeed, it's because of us.
Yeah.
It's because this staff that we assembled is built to develop this young quarterback. That young quarterback now being Bryce Young, who they drafted number 1 overall after trading up for number 9. So there's hope about the future of quarterback. There's hope about the coaching staff moving forward. But it doesn't mean for this season, though, that there aren't concerns. Now, I know every team in the NFC South, Victoria, is looking at last season going like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers weren't that good. They finished 8-9, but granted, that last game of the season, they just was a throwaway because they had the division wrapped up.
Now they've got our old news,
Yeah,
Baker
exactly,
Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. But a lot of
Yes.
teams are looking, whether it's Atlanta, whether it's the Saints, whether it's the Panthers, are looking going like, wait a second.
Yeah.
If we just flip 2 games,
Right. We're
we go
in
9
the
and 8.
playoffs.
Like 9 and 8, you're in the playoffs, and
Yep.
you win the division. You have a home playoff game. Once you get into the playoffs, I don't care what your regular season record was. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's the playoffs. Who cares? Just get there.
Yeah.
Offensive line, I'm less concerned about. We're going to focus on the offensive side of the ball. Chris Lee of WRL Sports is going to join us at 1 o'clock. We're going to get into the defensive side of things for the Carolina Panthers. Again, Panthers are reporting to training camp this week. But, Victoria, I'm less concerned about the offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
Even though Austin Corbett is recovering from an ACL injury he suffered in the season finale. But that's why you drafted a guy like Cade Mays a couple years ago, a guard that you out of Tennessee, 6th round, that you can develop. A lot of high marks apparently for him. It's why you drafted Chandler Zavala out of NC State in the 4th round. Now Chandler Zavala does have a pectoral injury. He's going to be on the physically unable to perform list to start training camp. Okay, so he's got to recover from that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, all your starters are returning. Ike Ekwonu in year 2 should be getting better.
Yes, he definitely improved.
It was like series after series he was
Yes.
getting better.
Yeah.
Not just game to game, but series to series.
That's why it
he
blew
got
my
better.
mind that they did not let him play out the preseason a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because he obviously needed the reps. He got better with reps.
Well,
so.
the answer to that was Matt Rule.
Yes.
But here's the thing, as the Carolina Panthers now, you don't have that excuse. Because
No.
the excuse was Matt Rule. Even when Steve Wilkes took over, it was, well, he's cleaning up Matt Rule's mess.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of don't have that anymore.
No.
You really can't use that as an excuse anymore. But nonetheless, all your starters are returning. Ekwonu should be getting better. Brady Christensen in year 3, 2nd year of playing guard, should be getting better. So there's stability on your offensive line, which is what you need with a rookie quarterback in my mind.
Absolutely.
Mine's when you get outside of that. Okay, Miles Sanders, good season last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. Was that a byproduct of a really good quarterback with Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith as wide receivers, Dallas Goedert as a tight end? Did he benefit because of those other weapons around him, or was Jalen Hurts good because he had all those weapons? That's a different conversation, but still. Miles Sanders, good running back, but the first time we've ever seen him actually have over 1,000 yards rushing in a season. And I don't know, I still got questions about Bradley Chubb as a backup running back.
I do love Chubb, but yeah, I'm hoping the best for him.
Yeah, he just needs to stop dropping passes. That's a big concern. Like, if you're going to be in there, you have to be a threat, a receiving threat as well, because otherwise teams are like, oh, Bradley Chubb's in the game. He's not going to catch the ball.
Exactly.
Because he's going to drop it.
He's not a threat. Yeah.
Exactly. He's not a threat. But it's also when you start to get into the perimeter. Okay, they brought in DJ Chark. They brought in Adam Thielen. They still have guys coming back like Laviska Shenault. They drafted Jonathan Mingo. Terrace Marshall Jr. coming back as well. A lot of question marks, right?
Yeah.
DJ Chark hasn't been healthy since 2019. Now, we saw one in 2019 what he did in Jacksonville. Great season. That was the second year in the league. Hasn't really been healthy since then. Adam Thielen's had a really, really good career, but he's aging. He's 32 going on 33 this season.
Yep.
Aging player, but also he's never been a number one wide receiver before.
He hasn't.
Because in his time in Minnesota, he was playing either alongside Justin Jefferson, who's one of the best receivers in the NFL already.
Yeah, by himself.
Yeah. So Justin Jefferson, even parts last season, he was getting pushed down to 3 or 4 in Minnesota. So he's had Justin Jefferson, and before that, they had Stephon Diggs.
Right.
Who's also one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, too.
So is it just a reflection of what you're working around?
Well, it's that, but it's also, again, what your matchup is.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't have to go against the top corner for other teams if teams were running a lot of man-to-man coverage.
Yeah.
That guy was going to where Justin Jefferson was lined up or Stephon Diggs. So he was playing against the 2 and 3 in terms of the defensive back for another team, especially if the other team was having a little bit of injury. Let's say their nickel corner or their second, their number 2 corner was hurt.
That's prime time.
Then okay, yeah, you're feasting on not as quality of corners.
Exactly.
For much of your career. Again, the questions of DJ Chark. Injury history.
Mm-hmm.
We seen him play well. We saw him light up Carolina in that game against the Detroit Lions last season, even though Carolina won. DJ Chark had himself a game. But again, can you stay healthy? You also look on the outside. Okay, Laviska Shenault, is he going to be a gadget-type player in terms of similar to how the San Francisco 49ers sometimes use Deebo Samuel outside of being a wide receiver? Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, if you're a gadget player, then that's your role. That's fine. Jonathan Mingo, you're a rookie. I don't know. You're a rookie.
It's up in the air.
You never know. You might pop off and be the top dude. That's okay.
Yeah.
Not going to say no to that. But, again, you're a rookie. We just don't know.
Nope.
Terrace Marshall Jr. was known for, I think, a Pro Football Focus had him rated as one of the best wide receivers in terms of go routes.
They did.
Right? Go routes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're not running go routes every single play.
You're not.
Right? You got to be a little bit more than that. Otherwise, you're just a much bigger version of Demir Bird or Ted Ginn. Right? Okay, you can't be just a one-trick pony because otherwise people will be like, oh, that guy's on the field.
Yeah,
He's got the speed, but they figure you out.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do more than that? So again, that's why I have questions on the perimeter of this team on the outside. Now, tight end, Tommy Tremble, year 2. Okay, can you develop into the pass catcher? Now, he has even said himself that with this new coaching staff, because under Matt Rule Victoria, he said, we weren't even taught how to be good pass-catching tight ends.
Yeah.
They weren't even taught. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
You mean you weren't taught to do what the thing you're supposed to do?
Your main job.
I'm sorry, last time I checked, a lot of tight ends out there that catch a lot of passes.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
See, and I think it's reflective on their games, too. It just looks like a lot of guys didn't know what to do. They didn't know where to go, where to be set. Everybody looked confused. So I'm sure it did go back to play calls and, that coaching.
And that coaching thing. Believe it or not, that stuff matters.
It does.
All right, so also Hayden Hurst, extremely talented. He's had great seasons, both Atlanta and Cincinnati, but again, someone who's been nicked up in his career. Can he stay healthy? So that's where my concerns are for Bryce Young as a rookie quarterback coming in. The offensive line, I think, should be solid. Again, how does Austin Corbett recover from the ACL?
Right.
Can Chandler Zavala recover from his pectoral injury to a point where he can be a contributor at some point this season, whether it's in rotation or if there is an injury on the interior of the offensive line that he can step in and play? Or how does Mays step in as well? Cade
We
Mays.
still have Bradley Bozeman, too,
Yeah,
who is
Bozeman
phenomenal.
back at center.
Yeah.
Again, the whole starting offensive line is back.
Yeah.
Again, just the guys recovering from injuries. That's really about it. But the whole starting offensive line is back, which is great.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
It's
If you're
ideal.
gonna build, to me, if you're building an offense, you start inside out.
You should.
That's the best way to do it because you can find other pieces on the outside eventually. Now, I don't know if they're going to try and make a trade at some point. Maybe it's a player for player type deal because all right, we have a plethora of this position and another team needs that and they have a plethora of wide receivers. You make a trade. They've already given up a lot of draft capital in the future to trade up to get Bryce Young. You don't have a first-round pick next year. Your second-round pick in 2024. or it's your 2025 is gone. Like they traded a lot of picks to move up to get Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So they don't have the draft capital to maybe move to get players like that right now. So this is what you got.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I was a big proponent of, if you could sign DeAndre Hopkins, do that, because everyone else's, at least on the wide receiver, everyone else's role now shifts. Right.
See, and that was always my main concern is the offensive line. Like it always has been, because the Carolina Panthers, I've loved them forever, but we have a tendency to never give our quarterback, fill in the blank, whoever that is, enough time to produce anything, enough time to think about something. And so if we can give Bryce a little more time, because he's going to be nervous. It's his first time at the big show. So we got to give him some, we got to give him a little bit of time, and that starts at the offensive line. So that's why I'm hoping if we can get that squared away,
I think
then
it is.
I can have some hope for the other outside things. Because our defense, that's the only thing that kept us alive last year.